Hey everyone! You know, Kidder Music Service is one of the greatest assets to our school district. From providing day-to-day materials like reeds and valve oil to purchasing pieces of sound and instrumental equipment, there isn't anything they can't do. Kidder Music Service helps our students sound the best they can each and every day, and we are proud to call them a Music in the Making sponsor. If you are looking for similar materials for your school, don't hesitate to call and ask for assistance and mention us, Music in the Making, today. Their number is 309-692-4040, or visit kiddermusic.com, that's Kidder music.com today for all your music classroom needs. And now, on to the podcast. Welcome to Music in the Making.
That's illegal.
I want to be with you everywhere. A Halloween party. Oh, that's fun. Let's talk about work.
That's not what I said. Well, and I like Stanridge, so it's like I kind of.
Oh, you guys are friends?
Yeah,
You guys
I
are
talked to.
friends?
Yeah, we talked
Talked to him last week.
a whole 5 minutes at Midwest last year. We are 3 high school and junior high music teachers from West Central Illinois.
And someone had to go to the bathroom during intermission and missed it. And that someone is me.
Yeah! Each week we will talk about our experiences in the classroom, community, and personal lives too. Please welcome your hosts, Lisa Hallen.
We say move all this stuff down there, and then it gets moved, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, why have we moved that from there to there to there? Stop recording.
Art Martinez, happy Friday if it's not a Friday, or Saturday or Sunday, or if you're Lisa, it's a week later. And Kevin Ferry.
Oh, what you're talking about.
During class. And they were like, we just want to be somewhere quiet.
Right. I agree. Well, it's like, because he moves his stuff up there for musicals, so it's really just like half of the time he's going to be down
Yeah,
here.
well, it was, Institute Day, and then with the student teacher. I think he likes it up there, too, so.
Oh, my gosh. I kept thinking it was like Wednesday, all day today.
All
I kept
weekend
looking,
been on.
and I was like, oh, it's Thursday. I'm like, guys, I have like Piano 1 students. It's Thursday. We gotta have Friday tomorrow.
Yay.
And they're like, what's the difference? So I'm like, everything. Last week felt like 2 weeks. You know?
The biggest difference with Friday for people who stay at the high school longer than third hour
Oh, I know.
is you have to teach fifth hour after fourth hour, and it's
It's the
so
worst.
sad because you're so used to getting lunch after fourth hour, and then you have to go to fifth hour.
It's the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back to another episode of Music in the Making, the Fornoff podcast, also known as.
Oh my gosh.
No Kevin today. Starting musical auditions
Woo!
for Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, I think is
Yes,
is
have
the
you heard of
musical.
that?
The name. I don't think I know
Okay.
anything about it.
Well, Steve Martin was in the movie version of it.
Oh,
So I was like, okay, sold. I'm on board.
Wait a minute. Hang on. I gotta look at that because you saying that. Hang on. Because now that name sounds familiar, more familiar.
This goes in with your the previous podcast episode, which I did listen to. Let it be
And
known.
my loving wife absolutely roasting people who love musicals. But it's okay. People like Beth Kidder, shout out, was like, this is the best episode ever.
Oh.
And Jamie Wilson, which also
out.
gave him a shout out also, made the comment of like, really? That's the shout out I get? But don't worry, I laughed my butt off the entire time.
What was it? I don't remember.
I think I just like kind of was just a bunch of shout outs at one
Oh,
time.
it was a run-on.
So, I mean, but trust me, Jamie needs all the shout-outs in the world because, especially right now, Solo and Ensemble season, it's just like, hey, Jamie, hey, Jamie, hey,
Yeah.
Jamie, hey, Jamie.
Well, it's also
for
like
weeks.
preparing for org.
Oh, I know.
and, like,
I know.
The other day I was
Oh my
like, I
gosh.
know I'm doing this song for org. Why haven't I ordered the scores yet? So
Yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
stressed in a few months. So I did.
Right. Oh, okay. I do know this movie. I've never seen it. But, like, I recall seeing, there was, like, a scene where, like, Steve Martin's in a wheelchair, but I think he's faking being in a wheelchair. And so, like, Michael Caine's, like, trying to test his will, so he's, like, smacking his legs as hard as he can. So he's, like, just trying to like break him to break, but like Steve Martin's not breaking. He's like tearing out because it hurts so much.
Oh no.
Okay, so that no wonder it sounded familiar. I guess it just did. I thought it was just a movie. I guess I didn't realize it was a musical.
Yeah,
I don't know what came first. Maybe it was Chicken or the Egg, the musical or the movie.
Spotify has like the original Broadway cast recording because I like watching the like movie trailer. I was like, why aren't they singing? Where's the singing? I was a little concerned. Then I went to Spotify and there was songs.
Well, now I'm curious because it's like again, I thought it was just a movie. Like,
but is it like a movie musical or is it just a movie based on the plot? And
yeah,
that'd be.
It might be. Yeah,
weird.
it might be that. It might be like it was maybe a movie first or a play first, and then they made a musical. It's like Gatsby. Like I didn't even know they made the Great Gatsby musical, and then it was
today.
And then it was a TikTok sound for a while,
Oh.
and then I think it's like one of those off-Broadway things. Two con men try to settle their rivalry by betting on who can swindle a young American heiress out of $50,000. Wow, $50,000. I gotta calculate how much that was in
Right.
what was it, 1988? Is that what it said? When did this movie come out? 1988. Good lord, that probably could have gone a long way.
Yeah.
Those days.
Prize in 2025.
Oh my gosh, $50,000. I don't know. Maybe it was a lot of money. Maybe it's set in a different time than like previously to that. Anyway, but so. But yeah, anyway, circle back. Jamie, we're making your life heck. I'm sorry, but at least, and I promised you over email that Kevin would give you the biggest shout out when he comes back on, because I'm sure he makes your life even worse with the amount of music that he has to order, or he asks you to order for him, because I don't know how he orders like so much music, and he makes the kids sing it all. It's amazing.
That just made me realize that Blake.
Sorry, shout out. I took a drink of water as you said that.
Drinking water for his New Year's resolution.
Yes, I did it.
Proud.
Yes,
Blake dropped off more music for Kevin, and I did not bring it over.
It's okay. Kevin's not
I also didn't bring over Lila's thing. I'll have to go get it, because her horn is not horning without that.
Oh, that thumb thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Horn's dumb. Mechanically. It's a great instrument. It's just mechanically made. It just needs to be made better. Luckily, there's no other horn players in the room.
I cannot imagine being a bassoon player
Same.
saying a brass instrument is mechanically dumb.
I'm a percussionist. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm identifying as a percussionist right now, so that does not affect me at all.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, Kidder's been like rock stars as usual. It's like this time of year for Solo and Ensemble is just like. And I think this is what's crazy too, because I know we were talking about in the office today, like, I feel like we have books for this and then we don't have it. Honestly, there might be books we've just never ordered because we never needed it. You know what I mean? Like,
maybe.
we would order the books because we knew we had the instrumentation, we needed it. But I feel like our kids are so unique this year that it's like, it's been kind of challenging to find something for them. Mm-hmm. I think in some last 2 years I've been doing this, like, it's always its own challenge, right? But, like, I think for this particular year, it's like, wow, some of these kids really actually want to be pushed more.
Yeah.
So it's like, good. Okay, fine. I'm glad that you're claiming this is too easy. And I'm giving this to you, you're reading it, and you're like, I can hear you. I'm like, good. I'm glad you, like, went past this. That's great. If it was kind of like a litmus test type thing, especially with the solos.
Yeah.
So that's super great. But it is exhausting just trying to keep it all together, keep track of it. I mean, I'm glad I now know the system of how to do it as far as like the Excel doc.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, I don't know how other schools who are maybe bigger than us do this, because it's to keep it all straight. Like, I know, I'm sure other schools, like, they have their lesson teachers that are like choosing the music for their students, which is fine. But since we don't have that, we're really trying to base it off the student that we have right now, and then not only where we'd like them to be, but like where they can feasibly be in 2 months.
Yeah.
I think it's like takes a lot of extra planning, and not thinking so much of like in the moment, right? But also keeping in mind, like, these kids are doing multiple events, so like I definitely wanted to be better about giving, like, especially the solos, like, it's a challenge. It's gonna take a while, like some time to work. Mm-hmm. But, like, trusting them. Attainable, right? Because it's like you can't put all your eggs in the basket of the solo, right? Because especially if you have 2 more events to do, like you can't make the solo impossible and then like make the other 2 events stupid easy. Like you got to find like some balance, so it's all going to be a progression forward. Yeah. So, but thank God for Solo and Ensemble. It's our Standard of Excellence book series. Oh my gosh, it's just making things like for me personally, it's like I'm able to progress a little bit easier, and I like how the books are laid out in like it is easiest to hardest in that volume. And if it is too easy, like, that's great. I can consider getting the book next time or getting the next book now or whatever. Going further, yeah, if there is, like, multiple books in that series. So, but the Duets for All are great. You know, it's definitely an older series. I don't know who makes that one or made that one.
A lot of them are just too short, but then you give them 2 and it's fine.
Right, exactly. Like, that's another thing, too. I got to consider next year. Like, you're doing 2 short ones.
Yeah,
you know?
I've given a couple.
Yeah, like, because I was going through the rules again with IHSA, and I was like, oh, like, I got to, like, they can do, like, 2 movements, or, like, or they can do 2 separate ones as long as they let the judge know. You know, we're doing both.
Like, giving contrasting.
Yes,
so they have
exactly.
A little bit of that. I gave, Amelia and Lila, wow, no shout-outs. I know they're freshmen, but we still like them. He's drinking water. Shout out.
I'm sorry. You literally are like, you're literally like looking away from me as I'm doing it, and you're like, no shout out? Oh my God. And I'm like full of water. I'm sorry. It is dry outside. My wife is doing so much better at me than drinking water these days. I have to beat her.
Can't let her win. How are you tracking it?
Like, I told her. So when we first started it, change the subject. When we
I'll
first
come
started,
back to you.
Amelia and Lila. We'll be back.
Yeah.
I said, okay, all we have to do, I said, because it's like sometimes people buy like the giant, like 160,000 ounce ones, and it's like, I'm not carrying that around. No. I'm sorry. Like, there was a time I probably would do that. I'm not doing that right now. And I said, let's just pick a water receptacle of our choosing, and I said, let's just plain water 2 or 3 times a day. And then after that, if we want to add like flavorings, so like Liquid IV or like, you know, Propel powders or whatever, I said after that, it'll be incentive to keep drinking because like we'll have flavor. I'm fine with plain water. I don't put stuff. I haven't been putting stuff in my water really. Like when I work out, I'll have like creatine or something, but that's like for working out. Like when I'm during the day, I just do straight water. Yeah. Like Kat has been putting in like whole like orange and lemon slices and stuff. So she's definitely like getting like the extra vitamins and minerals out of it. And I'm just kind of like plain water. I can deal with it. So, but like she has done so much better than I have. Like especially this week. Like this week, I feel like Monday I was like 5 or 6 of these water bottles a day, and then like I haven't had a single drop since. So which is horrible. And I'm starting to feel it. Like, I feel like energy-wise, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I feel so exhausted. Let me drink some water. Oh my gosh, I'm energized now. You know, it's just, like, I don't need caffeine. But if you do need caffeine, the new Red Bull Zero with a monk fruit extract.
Monk fruit?
Yes. It's like so it's like stevia. It's like a trendy, non-sugar thing, right? If you are a person who doesn't like Red Bull because it's too acidy, like Flintstone vitamin flavor, right? This is like so smooth. It goes down easy. It's really good. Highly recommended. So if you ever see it at Casey's, shout out Casey's. Yeah, a sponsored breakfast pizza a week. I don't know.
I would die happy.
That would be awesome. Like that, if you get it, like it's worth it. It's worth it. So, but anyway, so like I haven't been like having like caffeine drinks for like since we started like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So it's pretty wild. Like
even on pep band nights.
Yeah.
Wow.
I drank the first pep band game we got back, and I had this water bottle. I'm pretty sure I had like 8 or 9 of these that day. Like total that day. Yeah. Like during the game, it was so hot in there because the gym is just so small. I had like 3 or 4 of these during the game. Like I was sweating because just trying to like direct the band. So yeah. Anyway, back to Amelia and Lila. So
I gave them Amazing Grace and Simple Gifts, and I think it's gonna be a nice little folk song combo, and we were talking about assigning to. So that's why I think there's another reason I brought that up. I don't remember.
Well,
I was just like, they're kind of contrasting, and they're ones that they know. So even though it's like two things, they're obviously too short to be their own thing.
Yeah, exactly. But despite the the amount of work that we're having to do these 2 weeks, like I'm seeing these kids play like every day, which is encouraging. And I know for some of them, they're at least balancing the whole, like, okay, I know I'm still waiting for my ensemble, so I'll work my solo for 15 minutes, and then I'll, finish a homework assignment or something. So, like, there's some balance during first hour that I appreciate the kids are finding, because, again, I've been stressing to them, like, do not waste this time. As soon as you get new music, start working on it. Hopefully we can get Dr. Charlie Chadwell,
shout out,
from Western to come next week, or in 2 weeks, to do his presentation on practicing. I told the kids, like, on the first day, I said, what the hardest part about practicing is? Taking that instrument out of the case.
So real.
Like, I'm bad about that. Like, I really am. And especially with the symphony, like, because it's like work gets in the way, and it's like I'm exhausted. Last thing I want to do is practice. But like this concert cycle is going to be a little tough. We're doing this piece by Kadai. I've never Zoltan. Yeah, shout out Zoltan Kadai. he definitely will hear this podcast. Hopefully,
like Kadai, like
I think it's that one.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's just like interesting. Like, granted, I only play like 2 of the 6 movements. But, like, it's kind of tough. Like, some of, like, just the stuff we're doing. John Miniman.
Shout out.
From Western Emeritus Trombone. He wrote us a piece. Or wrote a piece that we're doing. And, like, it's very, like, it has, like, this ancient / like, because it's based on, like, the... what is it? A Methlodon? It's basically like this giant sloth that was like existed during like the Paleolithic era, something crazy like that. But like it's some really cool licks, but like for like the bassoon, like with the thumb stuff that we have to do, like he is giving my thumb a workout. It is not even funny, and it's going between like 7/8 and 4/4, so it's like da 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 da. It's just like, oh my gosh, my thumb is on fire. So just like practicing that is, it's the worst. So anyway, but yeah. So junior high solo ensemble. For me, I just try to get the kids to just do one thing. Like, I know Kevin's very, like, like, I just kind of see whoever wants to do it. I think it's important that the kids just kind of sneakily get used to just doing solo ensemble, because by the time they get here, they have no choice. So, like, I'm saying, like, I still, like, let them do what they want, air quotes, but, like, if I feel that one of them, like, especially 8th graders, like, you need to also do a solo, like, they're fine with it. And again, I'm just trying to make sure that they're doing something. So I think we'll have one mixed choir, wind choir this year. Last year we had like two winds and a brass, which was crazy. So this year we're gonna be a little bit smaller, but more ensembles, I think, so which is good. Awesome. So yeah, and that's just a bunch of copying. So Central, what's Central up to these days?
Central, we're still deciding who's doing what. I was thinking about that when you're talking about that. So we do select 5th graders, ones who I can tell are going to be able to handle it, who've progressed far enough in their lessons, who practice, who take their instruments home, who are just excelling, get to do it. And I used to let 5th graders do solos or ensembles, and now I'm kind of just like, if you're in 5th grade, you're doing a solo, because it's just the ensemble skills. It's just too much can go wrong, and I feel like I wasn't setting him up for success. I might take that back. I might have a 5th grade duet because there's like one lesson I'm thinking of that's like, oh, they could totally do a duet. Mostly solos.
You would think solos would be the hardest thing.
You would.
It is not.
It is not.
It is light years easier. Yeah.
And And then 6th graders, we open it. Oh, I think I was supposed to talk to them. No, I wasn't. I don't know. We talked about me talking to them in full bench, and I didn't. But I think we decided to print out the sheets first. Anyway, sorry. We just asked. We open up to every 6th grader. Like, do you want to do this? Take a permission form. Bring it back. If you bring it back, sign that you are available that day. Because we do run into basketball conflicts a lot, unfortunately, with that age group at that March Saturday.
I would say it's because we talked about it on a previous podcast how we at the high school we don't have many athletes this year like in previous years, like even at the junior high, like I have a couple cheerleaders, maybe 1 or 2 people that are in volleyball and or basketball, like that's it. So it's interesting how the culture can shift a little bit depending on who's coming through the ranks of stuff, but anyway, sorry. Solos are just like for that age, it's crazy. Like how it's so much easier. It's in some ways, like it's because it's like for me, I would feel like trying to explain to them like, okay, treat like even though you're playing with 1 or 2 other people, treat yours like a solo.
Yes.
If you treat it like a solo and then you play your solo against their solo, it comes together. But I think they get too wrapped up in. Like, I'm playing with somebody else and I'm getting distracted. It's like, stop listening to their part.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but even in high school, too, it's like, of course they want to collaborate, they want to work together, they want to play with their friends.
Yeah.
But it's like you got to spend so much time, like, separately.
Do it on your own first.
Yeah. It's its own
and, like,
different
6th
world.
graders will do ensembles, and they're ready for it. It's just, that's a change in the last 2 years.
And you'd think, too, like, at that age, we want them to have a positive experience. Yeah. Like, you don't want to, like, give them something so easy that they have to get a 1. But, like, you kind of want, like, them not to fail. You want them to do well, like,
and be comfortable, not be jamming practice the night before.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I feel that. I've definitely done stuff like that before. Not proud of it, but, I got my master's. I got my bachelor's before that, too, so. Anyway, gosh, I would say, like, it's fairly. We had the threat of weather when we first got back, and like nothing happened. Yeah. Like you guys didn't get any snow at all. Like Macomb got like a few inches. Like but you guys didn't have anything. And then I hear talks of something next week too. But I haven't seen anything, so I don't know. This has been a very gracious winter so far. It's not been like last year where it was like it was 3 weeks and we had all our snow days already used.
Yeah. Emily, Mrs. Pickerel.
Shout out.
Was, like, opening her lesson book from last year to, like, plan out what she does at this time normally. And she's like, oh, we just weren't in school these 2 weeks. That is not helpful at all. And I was like, oh. Yeah. Oh e-learning days.
Yeah. And then, like, Rock Ridge. Shout out was like out for like 3 or 4 weeks. It was like remember they had like 2 or 3 weeks worth of e-learning because they kept getting bombarded with snow and ice and stuff.
No, I don't remember.
I swear that was last year. Maybe it was 2 years ago.
I don't know. Maybe
I'll need to maybe reach out to Mr. President and confirm.
Shout out,
Step Daddy Curdy. Speaking of Mr. President, we have IMEC in 2 weeks. Yes. I am so pumped.
I know. I realized that I was making a piano class assignment for 2 weeks from now, and I was like. IMEC already.
Well, because I told the piano, I was like, because we're going over like the piece that we're just starting, and it probably won't take us 2 weeks, but I said like like the goal would be to before I leave for IMEC be done with it, so then you guys can have study hall for 2 days. We don't have to worry about practicing, and I'm gone, so I don't want to stress you out or whatever. Not that the piece cheese is that stressful, but I mean, it's for the lactose intolerant, it might be. Anyway, so that is a cheese joke, a dairy joke. Too cheesy. Anyway, so yeah, it's coming up fast, so that's crazy. But before we talk about anything else, we have to shout out to our admin, specifically Amy Freetag.
Shout out, yes.
So, I don't know if we actually mentioned it on the podcast.
Probably not, because
like we just didn't have enough information.
To be true,
right.
And like,
and I think Kevin may have like asked about it, and we're like, we just don't know 100%, blah, blah, blah. So, it was the day of track. We were in Kewanee.
TRAC.
TRAC, yes. Different kind of track. The reason that you won't hear Kevin often in March through the end of the year is because he'll be in TRACK.
Yes.
Different track. Anyway, we get a phone call from one of our admin, and she's like, I can't remember if she said, like, we have the money, or if it was just like, do we need instruments, or do we need equipment? Yeah. Either way, she's like, if you made a list of equipment and stuff that you would need, like, could you easily do that? And we're like, heck yes. Like, I mean, for me at the junior high, I don't really have any extra instruments, and for high school, like, it would be beneficial to switch kids from clarinet to bass clarinet in junior high, and saxophone to bari saxophone and tenor saxophone for junior high, so that when they go to high school they already have that skill. Like, if we want them to play alto, they can, because they've already played that, but they need that extra skill because we need those color instruments. Mm-hmm. So we'll compile a list and you just let us know. So we it was a combined Lincoln Harding. So with Dr. and Mrs. Martinez, she had a bunch of equipment that she wanted. Central wanted some equipment, but also instruments, and the junior high did too. And we did, like, each building got like 2 or 3 clarinets and flutes and a couple saxophones, and I put down 2 baris and 2 bass clarinets. Did you get it?
I got a two tenor.
You get tenor saxes, right?
Yeah.
And essentially we submit that information, and then she's like, okay, we're ordering everything, and we're all like, you're joking. Yeah. Like we got everything, and she's like, yep. I'm like, oh my gosh. So
there was some, like, funds that needed to be used,
like,
and they were like, it's for
grant money and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's
awesome.
Seriously, the fact when Blake came to me with 2 bari saxes, brand new bari saxes, and bass clarinets, I could cry. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like, fun fact, Yamaha bass clarinet case is green.
Really?
Yeah.
Like,
because he was holding them. He was holding them, and he was saying, like, oh, this is a trumpet, this is a saxophone, or this is a bass clarinet. And I'm like, wait, what? Is that green? And he's like, yeah, it's green. I'm like, that's so...
Like Christmas green? Or?
It's like, kinda? It's not bright. Yeah, I'll need to. I meant to take a picture of it, because I was like, this is wild. But, like... Yeah, it's interesting. It's almost like the size of a saxophone case, too. Like, it's not long.
Oh, that's nice.
So it's like the size of a saxophone case, and like everything fits in nicely. Yamaha, the best instrument and motorcycle company there is out there. So shout out to Amy. Thank you so much for everything.
For thinking of us.
I mean, seriously, Kevin says it all the time, and obviously... it's true. We are really so blessed to be in an environment that people really are passionate about music, and also passionate about the students getting, like, what they need to be successful in this program. Like, I mean, I'm sure sometimes it feels like we're bragging, but really, we really can't stress it enough how thankful we are to be in where we are. And I would say, like, if that is your mission to, like, get the instruments that you want for your program, like, go to your admin, be an advocate for them, and say, look, like, maybe we can't buy all the instruments at one time, but, like, is there a grant we can do every year that like will allow us? We're in a Title I school. Like, we are in that bracket of, like, low income students, but what I think is nice is that, like, it's not like we treat our students that way. Like, we treat them like professionals that they are, young professionals that they are, and for them to take with what they have and make it work, but then to have our admin think, like, oh, well, if they absolutely need this, then we're going to do everything we can to make sure they get it. And that is just an awesome thing. So we are thankful for them, and then obviously thankful for Kidder for, like, being like, all right, we're gonna start sending you everything that we have, and she's like, oh my gosh, this is cool.
Yeah, Blake's car was like full.
He was full. Yeah. I was gonna say, like, all the seats were down when he showed up to me. I'm like, man, tall order. And we still got a couple other items on the way because, like, they didn't have them in the store, but, like, we already got a lot of stuff. So that's super, super amazing. So. Anyway, we'll have to end on a high note there, because I'm reeling. This is just like,
yeah.
Like, I mean, I can't wait to get started, but like using them, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, I need to figure out I need to figure out who the people I want, which I kind of have a few people that I want to. Mm-hmm. Some kids have already been interested in like asking about it. It's just like I can't wait to get started, but I also want to make sure I do it right because you don't want to give it to the wrong kid or something like that. So anyway, but So anything else to add, Lisa, about this week?
Oh, let me check. I think.
Do you have a Lisa list?
I think it's only one thing. I'll see if it's something that should be done now or we should wait for Mr. Fairy.
I was gonna say I gotta come up with that stinger. The Lisa list. The Lisa list. What's on the Lisa list?
Oh. Yeah, no, nothing for right now.
No Lisa list this time, but that's okay. Well, we gotta add to the list. We should probably add to the list. It should be like, once we got like a few things.
Yeah, an actual list.
Yeah. Can you have a list of one? Yeah. Let us know. Email us. Can a list be more than one? Because technically, like if you start with a list of multiple things and you're knocking that out, is it still a list after you've knocked out most of the things?
Yes. I'm going to go with yes. It's
still
your to-do list.
It's just like, is chili a soup? And I say it depends on how much liquid is in the chili. Think about it.
Are you saying it's a stew if it's not a soup? Or is chili just chili?
Well then, see, what I think the difference between a chili and a stew is the thickness of the broth.
Between a soup and a stew, or a chili and a stew?
Well, see, I think a chili is a hybrid. It's half soup, half stew. Because, like, I think for chili, you need to have an X amount of meat in order for it to justify. Like, soups can have meat, right?
Yeah.
But, like, the broth is the main thing.
I feel like with chili, it's all about the beans.
See, I don't always like beans in my chili. I mean, I do. I like them. I
Neither
like
does
them.
Crispin.
It's weird. I don't know.
Like...
It's the fiber. But I feel like it's partly the meat, I think, and the spices. But like a stew is like thicker, right? So it's like almost like a gravy.
Yeah, I think a stew is like chunky.
Yeah, chunks of meat, and like it's thicker. It's not like watery. You know what I mean? So, email us about that. Is chili a soup or a stew?
Or its own thing.
Or its own category.
I feel like it has...
It could be. But some people call chili soup, I think. So.
I don't think it's a...
They're wrong, but
you don't let me finish. I don't think it's its own category. Because chili is, like, specific. Soup is a broad umbrella term. Stew is a broad umbrella term. When you can just order chili at a restaurant. But if I went to a restaurant and said, soup, they'd be like, what kind, you know?
Would you like the salad or the chili? I want the soup. Thank you very much.
This all sounds so good. I love soup. And chili.
It's cold out. We need more things. Anyway, well, before we go, we just obviously need to thank our sponsor, Kidder, for everything and everything they do for us. It's always so appreciated. Make sure that if you're going to IMEC, which we mentioned a little bit ago, they will be there at their booth. They will have tons of band materials, flex band, choral, and vocal music with extra discounts. Because it's the conference like that it's one of the best times to buy music. It really is. It's like instead of buying it after the conference, it's worth going to the conference and getting the stuff that you need. Cause
Make your Lisa's list of what you need.
Oh, there you go. Uh-huh. There you go. That's what they should add into the IMEC survival kits that they'll have is a Lisa list.
Amazing.
That'd be amazing. So, they'll also have IMEC survival kits. Because us teachers, I asked Blake if there'd be alcohol. He said maybe for mouthpieces, but not for drinking. I'm like, oh. Well, it's not much of a survival, but I guess it'll do.
Oh my
God. Just kidding. He didn't say that. I said that. But anyway, so we will be there at IMEC, obviously. So if you guys are showing up, please say hi. We'll be at the booth meeting sometime, just saying hey. And but otherwise, we'll be in and around. We'll be passing out the I think promo stuff. We'll print out some cards and stuff to give to people. So yeah, it is time to close another episode. Thank you for everyone who are listening. Always remember to reach out to the Gmail, musicthemakingpod@gmail.com. And we are always looking for suggestions of content. Of course, we like to just talk in general and talk about our program and hopefully hoping that it helps some of you out with your programs. But please, I think also one thing too I want to do is maybe put in some sort of giveaway.
Ooh.
And essentially, here's the thing. So here's what I envisioned. The giveaway would be like we'll give you like maybe a swag bag of merch, but you have to somehow document how many people you have referred our podcast to and confirm that they have subscribed one way or another. See, I don't know how you do that.
I mean, I feel like it would be easier to do like share this on your Instagram story and tag 5
Oh,
friends.
that too. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there you go.
That's a friend.
There you go. Okay. Or Facebook
That'd
too.
be my idea.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so I'll have to set it up because it's just an idea, but because I wasn't obviously fully fleshed out because I was like, I don't know how to do this.
Yeah.
I don't know how to give away things like this, but I will figure out a way to give away stuff. But maybe we can talk to Kevin and see how we can do that. But yeah, we'll set that up so at some point so we can reach more people because that's what we're always trying to do. Yeah. So thanks everyone for listening.
Yeah, until next time.
Girl,
bye.
Hi, Kevin.
Miss you.